Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I never thought that I'd be saying that some good can still come out of the UK. And well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually proud to say there's some good news that is finally circulating over online at the moment. And women are thanking God because, well, it seems like a little bit of sanity and some reason and rationale has been restored into society over in the UK. Now, all we need is the rest of the bloody world, especially here in Australia, to actually catch up with what's taking place over in the UK, because the Supreme Court has ruled that trans women are not legally women. I mean, I still can't believe that we have to even fight this in a legal sense at all. We should just know, it should just be common sense that men are not women. Hello? But alas, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a working battery kind of world, as I like to say, and it seems like everyone's feelings seem to matter more than facts themselves, even though facts don't really care about one's feelings, but seems like corrupt leaders care more about one's feelings than, yeah, as we know, actual common sense or facts. So what's going on? Well, Helen Joyce, who has been on my show before, who I think is an amazing woman and has been fighting for the rights of women for quite some time now, she has shared her joy at Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court has unanimously backed the biological definition of a woman. I never thought that I would see this in the UK, because the UK at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, has embraced the working batteriness. And I mean, this is honestly shocking and amazing that this is actually coming out of the UK, but it won't come out of Australia because, as we know, the Sal Grover case is still going on and she is still fighting it. It's crazy because a man feels like he is a woman, and so the court decides that a woman actually defamed a man acting like a woman. The legal framework on that means that men can claim to be women and legally be recognized as such in Australia at the moment. And we have a woman, I'm not even going to say a real woman, just a woman is fighting it, Sal Grover, to actually turn this stupidity around. And finally, some good news coming out of the UK. Women's rights campaigners across the country are celebrating at the news, while author and sex matters campaigner Helen Joyce told Spectator TV that she feels vindicated and amazed by the decision. We all feel the same way, Helen. But politicians in the Scottish National Party won't be feeling quite as jubilant. As lawyer and lecturer Michael Foran told me on today's episode, what will now happen with the gender bill is down to the Scottish government. Well, we all know the Scots are just down the toilet as well. With just a year to go until the Scottish Parliament elections, letting the trans debate rear its head again could spell trouble for the SNP. The party has, in recent years, become embroiled in the trans debate. It was under Nicola Sturgeon that the issue first ramped up when she pushed her gender reforms through Holyrood. I think I'm saying that properly. Humza Yousaf then took the UK government to court after former Scottish Secretary Alistair Jack blocked the bill with his unprecedented use of Section 35 order. Current First Minister John Sweeney then claimed he was happy to have backed the bill at the time, despite the emergence of controversies involving safety. Involving safety in the female prisons and NHS rife. As Foran notes on today's Spectator TV, there's no legal effect on the gender recognition reform bill from these judgments alone. So it is open to the Scottish government to reintroduce that bill into the Scottish Parliament. Oh, gee. God help us all, honestly. He explains that if Holyrood, I don't even think I'm saying that right, but anyway, chooses to back the bill again, the current Section 35 order would fall and the UK government would have to decide whether it wants to make a similar move to prevent the reconsidered legislation from getting royal assessment. Wow. Can you imagine the king going, yes, I think that a man that claims to be a woman is, in fact, a woman. Imagine the sheer controversy surrounding that. If a royal says it, geez, if the actual king In a twist that seems counterintuitive, however, there is a chance that today's win for women, Scotland could make it harder for current Scotland Secretary Ian Murray to block the bill, as the UK government would have to find a reason unrelated to the effect of a gender recognition certificate on the Equality Act to justify issuing another Section 35 order. But how much political currency is there in pushing on with gender reforms at all? Seemingly a lot in government. I don't know why. It's like the hill that they want to die on. I don't know. I don't understand it myself. The pro-GRR crowd in the SNP certainly has their allies. Joyce describes in today's episode how groups like For Women Scotland and Sex Matters were on the other side from not only sections of the Scottish and UK governments, but Amnesty International and the Equality and Human Rights Commission. On the other side, she added, were all those well-paid people and all those lawyers and all those people who have lost sight of reality and thought that the words are more important than the reality, that the possession of a piece of paper is what makes people man or woman, male or female, not the actual immutable physical reality of being mammals. Yes, certainly. Biology doesn't exist in a trans woman's mind or a trans person's mind. And I'll ask again, someone needs to explain to me what even trans is, because no one has been able to do a good job at it at all. It just makes no sense. Nothing can be something that it's actually not. Yet political parties have also noticeably cooled their rhetoric on gender in recent years. Scottish Labour's Anna Sarwar and Jackie Bailey both backed Sturgeon's bill. Of course they did. But earlier this year admitted they regret the decision, knowing what we know now. What do you know now? That what you did before was just follow a dingbat leader, and you're going, yeah, follow the feelings, man. Don't follow common sense. And now that the dingbat leader's gone, oh, we made an utter, terrible, drastic mistake. How can we ever go back on it? All the four Scottish Lib Dems, MSPs, supported the bill. How about that? In 2022, but have been fence-sitting of late, today merely noting the confusion that existed around the Equality Act. Why is there confusion at all? There shouldn't be. The Scottish Tories joined the pro-independence Alba Party in opposing the gender bill and have lauded today's judgment as a victory. Even SNP Cabinet Secretary Shonda Robinson has announced today that the Scottish government accepts the judgment. See how long that lasts. Leaving the Scottish Greens, oh boy. Scottish Greens are probably the exact same as the Australian Greens, as the only Holyrood party vocally opposed to today's decision. There you have it. The environmentalists have attacked today's ruling as deeply concerning for human rights, adding, Scottish Greens will continue to stand with trans people and resist culture war being waged against them. Yes, it's definitely a culture war, isn't it? Not to mention the significant culture war that's being waged against actual women, but no, men wanting to be women, that is in fact more important to these environmentalist dingbats. It's always the environmentalists as well as the pro-LGBT, pro-trans, pro-everything just that makes no sense at all that, well, you all know the ending of that sentence. But anyway, they all just go down the ever-increasing gurgler to insanity land, and they want to take us with us. No, thank you. I'm done. Will pressure from the Greens be enough to persuade the First Minister? Gee, I hope not. Who is known to be more reluctant than its predecessors to broach the subject, to push forward with gender reforms, you may say. From an electoral standpoint, the polls suggest the SNP will end up the largest party in Holyrood next year, but it looks at present unlikely the Nationalists will win a majority. In this case, the party will have to rely on opposition groups for votes, and the Greens have a history of backing the government in the past. While senior SNP figures insist that another coalition deal with Patrick Harvey's party is far from likely, the Scottish Greens could demand changes on gender policy in exchange for support, although ex-FM Yusuf belatedly discovered just how bruising letting the Greens dictate policy turned out to be. Not good for him. Public opinion has shifted too. As both Foran and Joyce acknowledged in today's episode, polling released today by More in Commons finds the country's top three priorities are the cost of living crisis, 64%, the NHS, 40%, and immigration, 28%. Gee, I thought it would have been immigration second, not NHS. But anyway, seems like those are pretty good top three priorities, if you ask me. So in contrast, a mere 2% are preoccupied with the trans debate, but seeming like in politics, more people are concerned about it than regular people. Earlier this week, First Minister John Sweeney announced he would bring forward his program for government to May 6. The SNP administration has already spent hundreds of thousands of public funds on pursuing the gender bill. Why? Scots concerned with rising costs and failing public services are unlikely to be impressed if Sweeney's upcoming policy plan includes further cash splashing on this forefront. And you have lots of people that are sharing this article saying, base UK? No, I wouldn't go as far as saying that, mate, because you've got a mass immigration crisis going on over there. You've got a problem with the police. You've got a problem with your government. So don't just count all your chickens before they've hatched yet, okay? Like, this is one small victory, and I'm glad that it is a victory nonetheless. But, mate, honestly, it's coming way too late. It should have happened a long time ago, and some of you are probably going, Jay, it happened, so be happy that it happened. I am happy that it's happened. But honestly, like, I'll be even happier when it's set in stone and it's all across the world. When men can be men and women can be women, and that's that. Should be so easy, shouldn't it? But alas, Working Battery. By the way, you can get these shirts still. Link is available in the show description if you want. Working Battery is all around, as it still would seem. Anyway, you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.